Hello, my name is Diane Barrett and I'm the Fruit and Vegetable Product Specialist at the University of California in Davis. My lab works on the quality of fruits and vegetables. In particular, we look at raw material quality and processing that is used to extend the shelf life of fruits and vegetables. I am a cooperative extension specialist, and it means that I work very directly with the industry. This project is a collaboration between a colleague in plant sciences, Beth Mitchum, another colleague who's a sensory specialist, Dr. Hannah Sievertson, and the PhD student, Panita Noamchachit, who's from Thailand originally, and is currently an assistant professor at Chulalongkorn University in Bangkok. The project was focused on fresh-cut mangoes, and the question that we asked was whether we could use calcium chloride, and calcium lactate to extend the shelf life and improve the quality of fresh-cut mangoes. So the problem that we were trying to address with this project was how to extend the shelf life of fresh-cut mangoes. They're very perishable and they don't last very long in the retail section, even under refrigeration. So we used calcium salts, and we looked at two different kinds of calcium. The first one was calcium lactate and the second one was calcium chloride. We used these two different kinds of calcium salts at different concentrations and looked also at different dipping times. So we cut the mango cubes, dipped them into either calcium lactate or calcium chloride for different amounts of time, and then we looked at quality. In particular, we looked at firmness, color, soluble solids, titratable acidity, and consumer liking of the final product. So the fundamental principles behind the use of calcium are that calcium binds free carboxyl groups on polygalacturonic acid residues in pectin. It pulls those two chains of pectin together closer, and then the network is tightened, and that improves the firmness of the plant tissue. So in terms of our effectiveness in this study, we found that both types of calcium worked, both calcium chloride and calcium lactate. Calcium chloride was a little bit more effective than calcium lactate. And in general, we found that the more calcium we added to the tissue during these dips, the firmer the tissues became and the longer the shelf life. In addition, if we increase the dip time from 1 minute to 5 minutes, that also improved the uptake of calcium and the firming of the tissue. We used two types of mangoes in this project. We used Kent, that are more of an orange, kind of oval-shaped or peanut-shaped fruit, and Tommy Atkins, which is a large, round, greenish, reddish skinned fruit that is kind of globe-shaped. In a consumer study that we did on 180 consumers, we gave them a test to assess their degree of liking, and we used a 9-point hedonic scale. What we found from this liking test was that the consumers broke into two clusters. There was one cluster, which was a larger cluster, that really liked our Kent mangoes, no matter what time they were dipped, but they actually preferred the lower concentrations of calcium. So you, as a processor, could get away with using just a low amount of calcium to improve the Kent mangoes, which had a very nice flavor. There was another smaller cluster of consumers that liked the Tommy Atkins mangoes. And for those consumers, the lower levels of calcium were all about the same in terms of the flavor and the quality. They did not like the highest level that we used, but those were the two clusters in our results from the consumer study. So overall, we see the benefits of our study in terms of really being able to extend shelf life of mangoes. We stored our mangoes for 9 days. In some instances, the industry is only getting 4 to 6 days of storage on fresh-cut mangoes because they are so perishable. So we can extend the shelf life. Consumers preferred our calcium-treated mangoes at the end of the shelf life because they had better flavor and texture. And overall, Kent was the most preferred of the two mango varieties that we looked at. The next steps in this project are to look at different varieties of mangoes, because there are many different varieties. And in the United States, we actually import mangoes from 4 or 5 different countries. So we could look at different origins of mangoes as well. And in general, try to extend the shelf life of all of these fresh-cut mangoes so that consumers will eat more of them and enjoy their fruits and vegetables. Thank you.